I'm Yoga Mama Jess. Today we're going to work on our hips. Whether you have some tightness in the front of your hips, the hip flexors, or the side and back of your hips towards your glutes, this practice is going to feel so great. Let's get started in a child's pose. So come onto your knees, bring your knees a little bit wider than your hips. Sink your hips back and rest your forehead down on your mat. And then just rock those hips side to side, rolling side to side on your forehead. And then find your way back to center. Take a few moments now just to find your breath. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your nose. With your next inhale, lift up like you're coming into a table, but then keep shifting forward. Drop your hips, turn your gaze up. Exhale, bring your hips back towards your heels. Again, inhale, shifting forward. Drop the hips, open the heart. Exhale, release down. Just keep moving this with your breath. Starting to stretch through the spine and the hips. Now on your next round, try bringing the feet with you and see how that feels. Now if you've got those feet traveling with you, next time, try dropping your feet over to the left, look over the left shoulder, and then back to child's pose. This time, drop your feet to the right, look over the right shoulder, and child's pose. Remember, just starting to move the body around. So find what feels good for this moment. Just 2 more rounds. Inhale to lift up and shift forward. Maybe you drop the feet. 1 more time. Come back to your child's pose. Now really walk your hands forward. Feel that length in your spine. Lift your hips, tuck your toes. Coming into our first downward facing dog. Extend your arms out from your shoulders. Extend your legs out from your hips. Let your head hang in between your arms. Go ahead, shake your head no. And nod your head yes. Now inhale, lift your left leg overhead, bend the knee, drop your foot open to the right side of your body. Now check those shoulders, keep those shoulders square. Maybe draw some nice big circles with the knee. And reverse the circle. Straighten your leg, inhale, exhale, shift forward, knee to nose, and gently lower that left foot in between your hands. Now help that foot forward if needed. We want the left knee over the heel, and then gently lower your right knee down, untuck your toes. Now stay here. If it feels good, walk your hands up above your knee. Maybe reach one arm overhead, maybe both arms overhead, as you let that right hip sink down a little bit lower. We have a beautiful sunrise this morning here at Club Med Sandpiper Bay. Inhale, reach up a little bit taller. Exhale, open up to the left. Water wheel. Keep bending forward with your left knee. Reach back with your left fingertips. Think about lining up your spine right over your hip. I know there's a lot going on here. Little balance, little strength. Nice hip opener. Now keeping this shape with your upper body, just lower the right hand down, left arm goes up, lunge twist. Now option, you can always tuck the right toes and lift the knee, only if that feels good. Otherwise, just keep that right knee down. Inhale, twist a little bit deeper. Exhale, release, left hand down. Now straighten the left leg, pull the hips back, pull the toes in towards you. Fold over that straight left leg. Hands to either side of your leg. If you've got a little more opening, feel free to grab those toes. Now pull that left hip back a little bit more. There's that hamstring. Point your toes, shift forward, find your lunge once again, and then stay here, or reach the arms overhead. Good, sink that hip a little bit lower. Now drop your left hand down, reach your fingertips to the ground, and just tip over to the left. Really elongating this stretch from right fingertips all the way down to that right knee. And in case you didn't know where the hip flexor was before, I bet you do now. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, plant your hands. Now tuck your right toes, lift your knee, and just step right into downward facing dog. If you'd like, go ahead and walk your dog, bending one knee and then the other. Bring your heels back to your mat. This time on an inhale, lift your right leg overhead. Bend the knee, open up through the hip. You might notice your left heel presses a little closer to the ground. And then take a couple circles with the leg. And reverse the circle. Now inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. And then bring that right foot in between your hands. So walk the right foot forward, walk the left toes back. We want the right knee over your heel. And then gently lower down, untuck your toes. Hands above your knee. When you're ready, reach one arm up. If that feels great, reach both arms up. Really reach up through the fingertips, but slide the shoulders down and back. Now this hip might feel very different than the other side. If you need to back it off a little bit, please do. However, as you're ready, sink a little bit lower. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, open up, water wheel. Opening up to the right. And again, this side might feel different than the other side did. Keep bending your right knee. Reach back through your right fingertips. Breathe into this twist. Breathe into this hip opener. You've also got some balance. Keeping this shape with your body. Just lower the left hand down, right arm up, lunge twist. Stay here, a more powerful pose. You can tuck the left toes and lift your knee. If you do have that knee lifted, gently lower down, untuck your toes. Inhale, twist open a little bit more. Exhale, release. Straighten the right leg, pull the hips back, pull the toes in, and then fold over that straight right leg. Ooh, I have not had a chance to warm up my hamstrings too much yet today. So if yours are feeling a little bit stiff, no, you are not alone. However, if you do have a little more opening, you can grab those toes, relax those shoulders. Now point your toes, shift forward, come back into your lunge. Again, you can always stay right here. Otherwise, sweep the arms overhead and then drop your right hand down, fingertips to the ground, tip over to the right. Just enjoy that nice stretch, not only in the hip flexor, but all down the left side of your body. Inhale, both arms back up. Exhale, release, plant your hands. Tuck your left toes. Lift your knees, step right into downward facing dog. Good, walk out this dog. I think walking out the dog feels good all the time, but especially after stretching those hips. Bring your heels back towards your mat. We've got one more lunge sequence. On your inhale, left leg up. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. Bring your left foot down, find your lunge. Gently lower the right knee down, untuck your toes. Now bring your left arm to the inside of your left leg and walk that left foot over to the left edge of your mat. Moving into our lizard lunge. Now I want to remind you here that left foot can move wherever feels good. So maybe you move it off your mat, maybe you move it forward. But to get started, let's just kind of rock those hips side to side. May not have thought about doing a lizard lunge today, and here we are. And then find your way back to the center. So this might be a good time if you want to just try experimenting how your legs and hips feel if you move that left foot a little bit. And then stay here. Maybe you come down onto one elbow. Maybe you come down onto both elbows. Now if you do have a yoga block or a pillow or a blanket handy, you can grab it here and use it as a little prop for your elbows. So however deep you decide to go in this lizard lunge, remember, we want to feel something. We don't want to feel pain, but this should be a really, really good stretch. So don't ever force it. Of course, keep that breath. And I know you can't help but smile when you see my beautiful background here. I'm so honored and spoiled to be able to teach at this beautiful resort. And now slowly come back up onto your hands. Walk your left foot back in. Left arm to the outside of the left leg. And now listen up, this one's gonna sound a little tricky, but I promise it's gonna be amazing. Tuck your right toes, lift your knee. Now roll onto the outer edge of your right foot and then turn your left toes to the left side of your mat. So all 10 toes are facing the left side of your mat. Plant your hands and then let that right hip sink down. Oh yeah. So this is not only an amazing pose because those hips are loving this, I know they are, but you get to stretch the outsides of both hips at the same time. Now you can stay here, maybe bring your left hand to your left knee, maybe reach your left arm up, maybe take a little gaze at the sky. And then slowly come back to center. Come up on your right toes, shift all 10 toes to face the front of your mat. Plant your hands, step right into downward facing dog. And just breathe here in this downward dog. Remember, you can always take a little child's pose. And then we've got one more side lunge. Heels down, inhale, right leg up. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. Plant your right foot. Walk the right toes forward, walk the left toes back. Gently lower the left knee down, untuck your toes. Now right arm to the inside of your right leg. Walk that right foot out to the side. And then just kind of rock side to side here. Rocking in our lizard lunge. Now find your way back to center. Maybe you keep that right foot where it is. Maybe you walk the foot forward or over to the side. And then stay here or come down onto one elbow. Got a little yard work going on. Maybe come down onto both elbows. And remember, we want to feel something. We don't want to feel pain. And then make your way back up onto your hands. Sorry about that. And then walk your right leg back in. Right arm to the outside of the right leg. Tuck your left toes. Lift your knee. And now rotate your foot. Come on to the outer edge of your left foot. Turn your right toes to the right. And then let that left hip sink down. Stay here. Maybe you reach your right arm up. Right hand back down. Come on to your left toes. Plant your hands. And step right into downward facing dog. Good, walk it out.
¿No empiezan a las 8?
Yes.
Todavía no, 8.
Bring your heels back towards your mat. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, gently lower down to your knees. Sink your hips. Child's pose. And now slowly walk your way back up to center. Come on to one hip or the other. Now if you have a few moments to recline all the way down onto your mat, please do. You might want to do so without our yard work going on in the background, but that is how we keep the grounds here so beautiful. In the meantime, I'd like to thank you for joining me. I hope your hips feel happy. I hope you have a beautiful day. And until next time, namaste.